We lost 60 grand last year.
And you're probably wondering how we ended up in that situation.
So you might be expecting a crazy story, and for some of you, it might be just that. A mad story. For some of you, you might have done the exact same thing that we did, and some of you might be wanting to do exactly the same thing we did. So what did we do? Last year, both of us left our jobs. Well, actually, I left mine in 2021, and then Claire left hers almost a year later in 2022, once I'd kind of started up the agency and got things moving. So you might be thinking, did you have any clients before you left your job? You know, did you have any systems in place before you left your job? Well, the short answer is no. I had absolutely nothing set up. I had no clients. I just bought one introductory course to SMMA that I found through TikTok. And from there, I just had to back myself and take the leap, because there's this quote that I love saying, at the moment when it feels scariest to jump is the moment that you jump. Because if you don't end up jumping, you're going to end up in the same place for the rest of your life. And that I can't do. And that quote really stuck at me at that time, because in my head, I always thought, oh, you know, I'm kind of a risk taker and this is something I need to do. But then, you know, the devil on your other shoulder is saying, you know, keep the stable job, go up the ranks and, you know, do it the traditional way. But clearly I didn't listen to the devil on my shoulder, and I just kept my head and went full into the SMMA space.
Yeah, and how it started with Katie, if you want to go way back to March of 2020. So when COVID hit.
China has identified the cause of the
mysterious new virus.
Coronavirus.
We were actually in our last year of university. We were both studying the same thing in college. We both did a business degree, and we, during COVID especially, everyone leaving university, I think, had the same kind of worry, because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, everyone is just like, oh my God, what will we do? Will there even be jobs?
Yeah.
Is every business going to shut down? Isn't that what we're all thinking?
Yeah, obviously in March, everyone kind of thought it was going to be a week or two off college, and then we go back and finish and do our exams.
And I can literally insert a video here if I still have it. It was a video of us in a cafe the day that everyone was sent home saying, oh, see you never.
Yeah.
And we actually didn't see those friends for like months after that.
Yeah.
Which is just mad to think about.
Yeah, and anyways, it comes around to when you get your degree, and, you know, we're lucky enough that we both had a job that we had been offered, had we met the requirements. So we both got our 2-1, which is a second class honours degree, and that allowed us to, you know, progress in that job, which we both ended up doing in the same company, pretty much the same role. We were on the same floor at work. Obviously we weren't working from the office until a year later, but yeah, so we both were so uncertain about what we wanted to do after college. But as we said, faced with the uncertainty of COVID, and when most people weren't lucky enough to have a job, we were like, we'd be crazy not to take this job and have this stable income. And then obviously a year went past.
And yeah, we obviously went into that job, and we spent the first year of that job working from our childhood bedrooms, which, you know, isn't great from a mental point of view. You're waking up in the bed right beside where you're about to work for the day, and just for anyone, that isn't really the best situation to be in, especially as someone in their mid-20s. You want to be out and exploring and, you know, seeing new things.
Yeah.
So just to kind of backtrack there, I was obviously miserable. We had moved up to Dublin. We had started the job role in November of 2021. Am I wrong?
2020.
November of 2020. And September of 2021 rolls around. That's when we actually went back to the office and moved in. And believe it or not, by that November, so 2 months later, I actually handed in my resignation letter. I think I have the date on this note that I'm going to pop up on the screen of my notes app on my phone, where I was typing out the resignation letter, and I went in and did it. And as I say, at this point in time, I really only had a real surface level knowledge of online business itself. You know, I was researching Amazon FBA and drop shipping, and then SMMA was the one that really I kind of like stood up and I was like, oh, okay, this is actually like a career, you know, that I can build for myself. and I bought my first course, I think that September, you know, when I was really miserable, moved to Dublin. I wanted something kind of focus my mind on, and yeah, gave in the notice in November with no clients, and I was moved back home I think about 4 months later, maybe the April after, so April of 2022. And that was really the period for me when I said, okay, like we're really doing this now. You know, when I started the agency, I was doing all of the typical, you know, nights out, people like, how is the agency going and whatever. And in the beginning it was hard. Like it took me about a month to get my first client, and that was just before I moved back home. So I got one client, and when people would ask, I'd be like, yeah, it's going so well, I'm doing amazing, who wants a drink, you know, rounds on me. And what I was doing was I was just blowing through every last bit of savings I had just to save face at that time. But I guess all of that reinforcement that things are going well worked well, because it just kind of snowballed from there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like every time I was on FaceTime to her, I was like, oh my God, I signed a new client, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And the momentum just really kicked on from there, didn't it?
And like the difference in like you was crazy as well. Like the difference between when she was working in the corporate job versus when she was working for herself, making her own money, like it was night and day. And then, God, like what, 6 months after that, like Katie turned around to me and she said, listen, there's a job here with me if you want it. Would you want to quit your job and work with me? And I was like, yes, like you don't need to convince me.
There was a lot of over and back.
There was, but I think I always...
Because Claire as a person isn't as much of a risk taker.
No.
So I think in every business...
I'm a big overthinker as well.
Yeah, but like you kind of need that in business. You need kind of one kind of riskier person, I guess, and then one person that kind of
asks a lot more questions.
Asks questions. Is this the right decision? Are you sure?
Yeah.
But she did a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah, and it's good to go into things after thinking it through, you know.
Yeah.
Like we're still that way now, where she'll always go head first, and I'll always overthink things just a little bit. I'm a bit better than I used to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I quit my job then in September of 2022. So I've been working with Katie now for just over a year. And I would say for the first, I don't know how many months, like I would say definitely until the start of this year, there was a lot of speed bumps and bumps in the road, because I just didn't know what I was doing. Katie was paying me, which like
it's one of those situations, and I always kind of reference back to this. If you're bringing on a business partner, you know, usually you're looking for someone who has skills that will complement yours. You know, someone has a skill set that's here, you have a skill set that's here, and you bring them together. Whereas the situation we had was I had a skill set, and then I was kind of training someone up who had, you know, no real skill set in the field. So therefore it took a lot more time than say a traditional partnership would take, because a few months after she joined, we actually became
business partners officially.
Yeah, so it took that bedding in period, as she said, until maybe the start of this year to really kind of feel like she was, you know, worthwhile in the business, or feel like she had something to offer.
I'd prove myself.
Yeah, like you would in any business. You need to show that you're willing to put in the work and learn, you know, make sure that you're an equal partner in the situation. And yeah, since she joined, we've, you know, moved to Malaga together for a couple months. We just spent this past summer, or the past 6 months, in Valencia and Spain, which was absolutely amazing. Now we're back home for kind of the winter period, and we're probably going to be moving to Barcelona in Spain at the beginning of 2024, which is extremely exciting. So I guess to round out this video about, you know, who we are and everything like that, it's important, I guess, just to give people an insight into what we're currently doing.
Yeah, so we now help people to build their own personal brand on Instagram, and really the aim of that is, you know, personal brands are so important now. Like if you don't have a personal brand and you're trying to sell a service, like it is a lot harder to do it, because there are so many people out there that are like front facing, that are able to promote what they do. And if you have so many people that are doing that, like it is a lot harder to stand out. So we help people with their messaging. Like we basically help them with everything from market research to kind of formulating the correct offer that their audience actually wants, what they're willing to spend money on. And you know, there's so many creators out there that are posting on Instagram that have tons of followers but are selling nothing to them. And you know, we looked at that and we were like, that's absolutely crazy.
Like if you're someone that has over 10,000 followers, you're basically sitting on
A gold
a
mine.
literal gold mine. And there's a lot of people that we've been in touch with that are in that exact same position and just had never thought about monetizing that before. But then a lot of our other clients are actually experts at what they do, and they just haven't really amplified that on social media yet.
Yeah.
So they want a new kind of means, you know, other than the traditional method of in-person networking and driving people to a website via traditional Google ads and Facebook ads.
Yeah.
They wanted a way to get themselves out there as a person, number one, and then obviously to kind of have that touch point with their audience and kind of create a community on Instagram and YouTube, where YouTube is obviously where they can really get to know, where the audience can get to know the person a lot better. That's where we're doing this video as well, because we obviously want everyone watching this to know more about us and kind of get a feel for who we are, because we're fully aware, you know, we work in this space, we're fully aware that you're hearing a lot of, you know, do this, do that, but you're not actually knowing the person who's actually talking at you a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it's important to kind of feel that human connection.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I think, like, if you're watching this right now and you think of anyone that you actually enjoy following, like, why do you enjoy following them? It's probably because you feel like you know them. Like, that's what I feel anyway with the people I follow.
Exactly.
Like, I like to think I know.
Yeah, you like to think, you know, that obviously with social media everything is filtered, people are showing, you know, the best parts and whatever, but we like to think that YouTube is really an unfiltered place where we can just kind of have a conversation, and
We can talk for Ireland too. We
Yeah.
kind of be rambling a lot.
yeah, we can talk for Ireland. But we really want to use this account to, you know, share obviously our wins and our losses, but also how we can help you if you're someone that's looking to grow a personal brand, or if you're a creator who's looking to monetize the audience that they already have. And also if you're an aspiring, you know, personal brand agency owner who wants to figure out some strategies that they can implement, you know, really quickly to kind of get them started on that path, then this page is going to be really useful. So we hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, just subscribe to us, you know, turn on the little notification bell, and give us a follow over at our Instagram page at the Dillon Twins _ and TikTok as well at the Dillon Twins, where we'll be posting daily over there. YouTube videos will be coming every Sunday, hopefully every Sunday, but they will be once per week at least. So yeah, hope you liked it, and see you on the next one.